to the video. I'm not going to make this one a long one because I recorded this video previously a few weeks ago and I was about to edit it and it was almost 40 minutes. And I'm like, nobody really interested in watching a 40-minute video. So I'm going to just re-record this real quick, try to cut out the unnecessary deets and just keep it moving, okay? Because I did want to get this video out. If you're new to this channel, I am Diamond Victoria, or some people call me Diamond Vicky. I am glad to have you here. Make sure while you are here that you like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined to do so, because your girl will greatly appreciate it. And sorry if I'm talking a little bit fast, but trying to just get past all the extra jargon and get to the meat of the story, okay? If you cooking while you listening, or maybe you driving to work, or maybe you, I don't know, but go ahead and stick around because I got some story for y'all, all right? So just like the title says, I really experienced something crazy in, what is it, 2023 now? Geez, when did I move to Charlotte? I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, 2018. I don't know why I keep thinking I moved here in 2017. But anyway, you guys, so long story short, my grandfather came to visit and my mom was like, why don't, you come to NC for a little bit and why don't you come and look for places while you're here? And that was around that was around like June of 2018. And so I was like, yeah, sure. I could do that, whatever. I decided to come up to Charlotte. It was a quick trip. It was a Saturday. I got to see my granddad and we all went and looked for an apartment. And I found this really cute apartment called Bexley. Now, Bexley I had lived at previously in my childhood. It wasn't that location, but I was like, okay, Bexley has a reputable name, should be good, right? The apartment that they showed me, I really liked it. I thought it was really cute. It was in my price range. It was cheaper than the apartment I had in Georgia. So that was a plus for me. I thought it was a cute apartment. So I decided this was June of 2018. So my lease in Georgia was not up until, I wanna say July. I think July, yeah, of 2018. So they told me they had an apartment coming vacant at the end of July, like July 21st, 22nd, something like that. So I was like, okay, so I'll go ahead and put a deposit on it. So when it's time for me to move in, that's perfect. I don't have to pay, too much prorated rent. I'm like, okay, I'm Gucci. So I went back to Georgia, got my stuff together. And then moving day came, the end of July. I was super excited. Didn't really pack. Y'all, it's crazy. I didn't even pack. So, because to the last minute, I still wasn't sure if I was leaving Georgia. But my mom and my brother came down to Georgia. They finished packing for me and they were like, Diamond, you need to go to Charlotte because the office was closing. I want to say because it was a Saturday. So they were closing earlier. And my mom, they told me I had to get there to finish signing the paperwork or the rate was gonna go up because I had locked in a specific rate. If I did not get there in time, the rate was gonna go up, yada, yada, yada. Got to Charlotte, and when I got there, my dad and my two younger siblings were there already. And so I went, signed the paperwork that I needed and gave them the prorated rent check, and they gave me the keys. My mom and my brother were still in Georgia. They were getting the truck, everything together still. And so I went and checked out the apartment. Now, I'm sure, of course, a lot of y'all, if you've gotten an apartment before, the place that they showed me when I looked, this is definitely something I recommend. Obviously, I couldn't because the apartment was not vacant at that time, but I definitely strongly recommend if you're looking for an apartment, have them show you the unit you'll actually be living in, because those model units, child, it'd be a whole 180 when you go to your real apartment, okay? And that's what happened. Hold on, my cat is tripping. All right, y'all, I had to get my cat together because he won't trying to let me be great. And he not about to be, he's the star of the show all the time, but he's not about to be the star of this show today. So I had to get him together. Anyway, okay, we want to talk back to the story. So that's what happened. The apartment really wasn't like what I was expecting when I got there, but my dad was like, you're good, you're only, what was I like? I don't know, I was in my earlier 20s. He was like, you're good, this is good for you. My dad was trying to hype me up, he my hype man. So I was like, okay, Dad, it's cute, whatever. But it wasn't really giving what I wanted to give. I'm just gonna keep it Gucci. So that was one thing. So in hindsight, what happened, it was very uncomfortable, but in hindsight, it kind of saved me, child. Cause they had I'm not trying to throw shade, but they had roaches, like dead roaches, water bugs in the hall. Like I was like, no. And I think what it was too is that building, because I didn't know I was gonna be in that building. But that building was like right by the garbage dumpster, whatever. And so I think that was why too. So I already off jump, won't feeling it, but I was gonna deal with it because it was 3rd floor. So I was like, well, I might not have any problems, but child, I ain't even get that far, okay? So my dad and my 2 little siblings, they were like, how old were they at the time? Like 10 and 13. And so we were like checking out the apartment, super excited. And my little sister, she like ran from the master bedroom to like the living room, which was a short distance, child, like a hop, skip, and a jump. So she did that, and this is relevant. You know, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? So we're all checking out the apartment, just talking, waiting for my mom and my brother to show up because they had left Georgia and they were on their way with my furniture and stuff. And next thing we know, we hear boom, boom, boom on the door, like it's the po-po, okay? Like it's the cops. And I'm like, my dad's like, what the hell? What's going on? So, I mean, and they did it like repeatedly. It wasn't just a boom, boom, boom. It was like boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what the hell? Like me, I'm looking at my dad like, hold up, y'all wait over there and I'm gonna see what's up. So my dad looked at the peephole and he was like, there's this man standing out in front of your door. He's like, he looks like a regular guy. I don't know who this is. So my dad opened the door and the guy says, y'all are being way too loud. You're disturbing the peace. And he just had like an attitude off jump. It wasn't like a friendly thing like, welcome to the neighborhood. You know, I know you're just moving in, but can you quiet down? Like he was not nice about it at all. He was just off jump nasty, okay? And so my dad had to check him a little bit. He was like, don't be knocking on the door like that. Like, that's not cool. You know, my dad was super, respectful, but he was like, that's not cool. And the guy was like, well, I work 3rd shift and I'm trying to get some sleep before my shift. And so I need you to quiet down. And my dad's like, we're not even loud. And he was like, I heard running. See, Marsha, you're not gonna ruin this story time right now, boy. Boy, what in the world? So, see, you threw me off. Lord Jesus. What was I saying? So, yeah, the guy said he worked 3rd shift or whatever. So I was like, I didn't even say anything to him. And my dad was like, my daughter's moving in. It's not even late. It's like 2 o'clock. I'm sorry you gotta work 3rd shift. But, my dad's like, her mother and her brother are on the way with the furniture, so it's about to get a little bit louder. So, just letting you know. And the guy was like, well, y'all better get it moved in time or I'm gonna have to call the police or whatever. And he was just so nasty off jump, you guys. Like, just not a nice person. The guy leaves, and then my mom and brother showed up. And we told them kind of what happened. My mom was like, what the hell? We started moving little tiny items in, but we went and grabbed lunch, or I guess it was like an early dinner. And then we came back, we started moving little things in. And next thing I know, the guy pops back up again. And he's like, I told y'all, if you're not quiet, like, I'm gonna call the police. And mind you, the sun is just starting to go down. It's still early, like 7 o'clock, like it's the summertime, so the sun wasn't completely down, but it started getting a little bit dark, but it wasn't nighttime yet. And so I say to the guy, don't you work 3rd shift or whatever? Like, you need to go get your rest or whatever. Go worry about you, because I don't appreciate you keep confronting me, keep threatening me with calling the police. And I don't appreciate that and stuff, like making false accusations, noise accusations. And I'm like, we're not even being loud, and it's not even late. Like, it's not even like the time when noise disturbances usually can be reported, usually, unless it's like something domestic, whatever. It's like after 10 p.m. or at least that's what it was at the time. We're trying to be as quiet as possible, and we hadn't even started moving the big furniture, y'all. Like, I guess the apartment was like so, like the floors were so thin, I guess, that even if you're just walking, he was saying it sounded like stomping, and we were not stomping. Like, I can honestly say that. It just was a thin apartment, I guess. I didn't hear anybody else when I was there. Like, I didn't hear anybody beside me. I didn't hear anybody, so. And it was a Saturday, so people were home. So I don't know. But in his head, he said he heard noise, whatever. So fast forward, next thing I know, he approaches us again. And he confronts my dad in the hallway, and he's like, he has like a dog that wasn't even allowed on the premises, a pit bull, wasn't even allowed on the premises at this apartment. They required, I believe, or maybe I'm thinking of my Georgia apartment when they had to do like, you had to do pet breed DNA or something, but I know for sure like pit bulls were not allowed at this complex. And that's what he had. And he like walks up on my dad and like the dog was like, in a protective stance, and it was intimidating, right? And my dad's like, don't be approaching my daughter when I'm not here, because I don't live in this area, and if I hear that you're harassing my daughter, it's gonna be a problem. And the guy's like, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call the police. So my dad was like, you've said that like 3 times already, then go ahead and call the police. Like, my dad's like, we're moving my daughter in. She's trying to get set up because she's starting college on Monday, and you're causing all this ruckus, and I don't appreciate it. Like, you're being disrespectful, yada, yada, yada. And like I said, mind you, this was a Saturday, so the office was closed. Or I would have just called the office and had them come out, but they were closed. So we're steadily moving. It's nighttime now. And next thing I know, we're moving stuff in, like they're moving stuff in, and it's dark. And I see someone, like I'm going up the stairs, and I see someone peeking around like the corner. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, it was like all these walls in the complex or whatever, like in that building. So like, it was a lot of hideaways kind of set up. So I see like someone peeking around the corner in my peripheral vision, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, who is that? And the guy just jumps out, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, he scared the F out of me. And I was like, can I help you? Like, what is wrong with you or whatever? Like, cause he made, like, I was like, what the hell? Cause he was standing there, but he wouldn't come out until it was me. Mind you, my dad just said, don't approach my daughter. I'm here. If you need to approach somebody, approach me. Because I was younger at the time. My dad didn't play that. So he's like, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to come to you man to woman and let you know you need to get your dad in check. And I don't appreciate you disturbing my peace. And like, it was like 8:30 at night, 9 o'clock at this time. And we hadn't even, like I said, still had not started moving the bigger furniture yet. We were just moving little things, like little boxes and like just boxes and stuff, but no like couches or any of that stuff, or my bed or none of that stuff yet. So I was like, dude, if you want to call the police, that's fine. Don't be trying to intimidate me. Like, I was like getting upset at the time. At the point in my life that I wasn't really comfortable yet and like really advocating for myself or speaking up for myself. So like, I wasn't confident in doing that yet. So he made me feel intimidated. He made me feel like nervous. And so next thing I know, I go downstairs and I'm like upset, like visibly upset. My mom, my brothers, my little sister, my dad, they're standing by the truck because they were taking a second, to talk. And my dad's like, what just happened? He's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I told him what happened. And he approached me and like jumped out and stuff, like scared me and stuff. So my dad won't have it. So he runs upstairs and to the second floor, and he's like banging on the guy's door. And I'm like, Dad, please stop. My mom's like telling him, don't do that, because I don't want him to try to retaliate or anything like that, or try to say he felt threatened, because this was, a white man. And my mom's like, I don't want, you to do that. And I'm like, telling my dad, stop. I don't want you to do that. And mind you, this was so crazy to me. I never saw any of the other neighbors. Like, this is a 3-story apartment building, and like I never saw anybody else, like just random like neighbors walking by. It was just him. Like, that just was weird to me. But anyway, like everybody else stayed in their house, child. They weren't trying to be bothered. So my dad banged on the door, whatever, let him know like, hey, you need to come out. Like, I told you not to approach my daughter. Guy didn't come out, of course. Cowards never really. They just want to talk. They just want to blow smoke, right? So next thing I know, we're back downstairs. My mom and my brother never encountered this guy, by the way. Like, the only ones that saw him were me, my little brother, my little sister, and my dad. So my mom was like, what the hell? Why is this guy always approaching and I'm never around? Like, what the hell? But anyway, so we're downstairs by the truck, and next thing I know, this guy's walking up to us, and we're like, who is this? And so he walks up to us and he says he lives on the property. He's a cop. He's called and he wants to know what's up. So we told him the situation. The cop laughs his ass off. Like, he laughed his ass off. It was so funny. And he was like, what the hell, you're moving in? Like, obviously there's gonna be some noise. He's like, even if it is 11 o'clock p.m., even if it's 12 a.m., even if it's 1 a.m., he said, honestly, this is not a big deal to me for him to be calling in. And like I said, this was around, at this time the cop that came up to us, it was around 11. The guy was still home. He had said earlier to us that he worked third shift and he had to go to work that night, but he was still there. And I was working, not at the time, but eventually I started working at the hospital and I've done third shifts. So I'm like, you should have been gone, okay? Like, why are you still here? That's what I was thinking. But anyway, oh, my cat is tripping, y'all. Fast forward, so the cop goes and talks to him, let him know what's up. I was like just already uncomfortable at this time. He's like continuously just tripping. He's talking about he's ready for, like, when he approached me separately, he's like, well, when your dad's not around, you know, I'm gonna be able to talk to you. And, you know, if you making noise disturbances and your dad's not around, your dad's not gonna be around here to talk for you. So you need to go ahead and talk for you. And like, he was just being like just extra as hell. So next thing I know, my mom and my dad, they say to me, you know, we don't feel comfortable with you living here. You need to go to the office on Monday, let them know you need to. And I'm like, what? Like, this is my apartment now, you guys. I already put the deposit. I already did the prorated rent. You know, it was hard to find an apartment at the time because it was the summer. And I was like, this place is in my budget. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Tomorrow's Sunday. You know, a lot of apartment complexes are closed and I start school on Monday. Like, I need to get me an apartment. And plus I was working too, still in Georgia. I was gonna start working from home, but I took that Monday off, but I had to be back in Georgia on Tuesday because they had to do some more stuff. So I couldn't start working from home for like another 2 weeks. So I had to leave too, to go to Georgia for like a couple more weeks to get that situated. So it was really stressful time. And so long story short, I went to a hotel and I was like, I'll think about it. Next morning, I was laying in bed and I was just scrolling apartments and I saw this one apartment. I saw a few apartments in South Park and then I saw this one apartment in Ballantyne, which is like in South Charlotte. It's like the business area. It's one of the best areas in Charlotte. And I was like, it was funny because I had said that I wanted to live in Ballantyne, but I couldn't afford it. So I was scrolling and I see this apartment in Ballantyne. It's cheaper than the Bexley apartment. And it was by Arboretum. It was cheaper than that apartment and it was nicer. To me, it was cute. Like, I was like, this is cute. So I did a contact form and submitted it, went to sleep. Really got any sleep that night. Next morning came, we went and looked at a bunch of apartments, all out of budget. It was like $1,500 for 1 bedroom, which is crazy. So I told my parents, well, we haven't looked at this one apartment. And they were like, what apartment? And I was like, I submitted a form and they just sent me an email telling me the place is still vacant. If I want to come and see it, I can come see it. And they'll show me the actual apartment. So we go over there and I see it. And at first I was apprehensive, but it was, to this day, my favorite apartment of all time. And I lived in a luxurious apartment in Georgia. I was paying, giving y'all probably too much information, but for that apartment in Georgia, it was brand new. I was paying about $1,400 a month, right? This apartment was less than $1,000, and I can say absolutely my favorite apartment of all time. Like, so ended up signing the lease. I was happy. Got the keys the same day, that Sunday. We moved me in. Went back to the office that Monday morning, let her know what happened. I can't remember what they call themselves, child. Like the rental specialist or child, I gotta go, y'all, though, because I gotta go to Chick-fil-A before my next meeting. But I went to talk to her and I told her what happened. And she was like, what the hell? And she was like, we've never had any problems with that tenant before. I don't know what's going on. And I don't know what his issue was, you guys. I don't want to jump to assumptions, but I kind of have an idea. But I will keep my thoughts to myself. Okay. She was like, yeah, he's never did that to anybody else. And I asked her a few questions and, you know, it kind of confirmed what I was thinking. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all of that. So she told me that they can give me my deposit back. I did not get my prorated rent back. So I was out. There was other fees too. I was out, I would say $1,000 or close to $1,000. I did not get my full amount back. I lost about almost $1,000 from that whole thing. But I wanted to do the story time video because there's a positive spin on it, right? You may think that in a moment of time, how do I put this? That there's something that you really want or that this is the best that you can have. And that's not always true. Trust me, I'm a testament to that. That is not nearly at all always true. I really thought that that apartment was going to be my dream apartment. I really thought that I was not going to be able to find anything better in such a short time span. And when I went to that new apartment, right, in Ballantyne, the woman had told me I have been sitting there for like months because they had just remodeled. Everyone wanted the remodeled apartment. And I ended up getting a better deal. I ended up I stayed there for 2 years. I didn't even want to leave when I did leave, but I decided to move into a house. That's the only reason why I left. But to this day, I think about that apartment. Like, it was such a peaceful place. It was in the best place in Charlotte, like the best area of Charlotte. Like, I truly enjoyed my 2 years there. I can look back and say I'm grateful what happened. I'm grateful that that guy showed his true colors before I even moved in and was stuck there and miserable for 12, 14 months. I'm grateful what happened transpired because I ended up getting something better. Okay, so what you think is the best that you can have in any situation, you may be feeling down, you may be feeling like, damn, short end of the stick a lot of times, because I was thinking I'm getting short end of the stick. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I was just like so sad that night, you guys. But it ended up working out. I ended up getting way more than I would have gotten had that situation not happened. I ended up being way happier than I think I would have been in that initial apartment. So just because you think that what you have or what you are about to have is the best that you can have, that is not always true. There is always better if a situation doesn't work out, you know? So I'm glad that situation did not work out. There was definitely a silver lining because, like I said, and with this apartment, it was 3rd floor, the new one, but it wasn't 3rd floor because they considered, it was like literally one thing of stairs and my apartment was on the right, and I lived above a garage, so there was no one below me. And like I said, it was a business area. So like I was surrounded by doctors, lawyers, they were never home. So I had to never worry about any other problems. Like, my neighbors were super nice. Like I said, they were never really home anyway. And I got I got more than I thought I could have at the time. And I hope whoever's living in that new apartment now, I hope they're really cherishing it because I cherish it. I'm glad what happened because if it had not happened, I would not have experienced the joy that I did during those 2 years of my life. So incredibly grateful, very happy what happened. Don't always think that the situation you're in is where you're going to be stuck at or stuck in. Sometimes things have to happen for you to get better. Sometimes things have to happen for you to experience even more joy in your life. And if what happened had not transpired, I can genuinely say that would have been a miserable year because I would have been with a hellish neighbor. It would not have been a pleasant experience at all. I would have had so many issues at that complex because it was already showing in that brief, not even full 24 hours that I was there. So I say all that to say, be grateful sometimes when things don't work out, because sometimes when things don't work out, it is definitely truly for your benefit in the long run. So thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you feel so inclined to do so, because your girl will greatly appreciate it. Bye.